Hello there. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning to you from wherever you are watching from, or whatever time you are watching from as well. This is Mayegun live. And I welcome you again to this broadcast tonight because it is going to be a long one and it's going to be a really, really solemn one. The worst has happened. The worst awaited has finally happened. The government of Nigeria have started the shooting and killings of armless and peaceful protesters. They have been doing it for the past 48 hours. And tonight, they officially launched the mass shooting and killings in Lagos. How this whole thing finally led to this, we will trace it back tonight. We are going to go to Lekki tonight, where peaceful protesters were targeted by the government of Lagos State in collaboration with the federal government of Buhari. And this is happening on the soil of Yoruba land. And this is why this is more and more touchy. For me personally, and for every one of you who is human, because this killing didn't start from Lagos. Lagos. Or it's not limited to Lagos. In Ibadan today, they killed over 4 people. Same thing in Benin, same thing in Abuja, Kano, across the country, where people are reacting to the injustice and the brutality of police in Nigeria. The government of Nigeria, the politicians in Nigeria, and all their collaborators, they have decided to wage war on the citizens of the country. And they started this 13 days ago. But it is now official that the government of Nigeria, led by Buhari, has finally unleashed the military on the peaceful protesters. We have seen anarchy. We have seen how they moved thugs from neighboring states to the capital of Nigeria, Abuja. We have seen how they have used the NURTW, the notorious transporters in Nigeria, the dreaded, notorious transporters in Nigeria, the Transport Union. We have seen how they have used their members to unleash mayhem, to unleash terror and killings, vandalism on the innocent citizens. We have witnessed how the protesters have gone by with their own business in the past 14 days now. They have never attacked anybody. When you see a protester is with either a flag of Nigeria or is with a placard or is with a banner, or the protesters, the peaceful protesters, and their demands are very, very clear, very much in the public. They said if the government acts, they will leave the street. The government refused to act. The government has no intention of acting on anything. They pretended to be doing something when they were actually doing absolute nothing. When they said they were going to to begin the process of police reform, disband SARS, prosecute the criminals, police officers who have killed or maimed or tortured any Nigerian. This process was supposed to be ongoing, but they were making demands too. They said the protesters should leave the streets. If the protesters have been peaceful and orderly, organized, why should the government, who are now witnessing terrorists, I'm talking about people they know, the army of unemployed, untrained youth that the system has produced over the years, this army of untrained illiterates are now being unleashed on the rest of the country, who is asking the government to do the right thing. So the government is now waging war. So they did this while they watched their citizens being mauled to death, their properties being burned to ground. The government did not go after the arsonists. The government did not go after these thugs. The police did not go after all those miscreants and those terrorists because the government is sponsoring them. That is why the government is not going after them. So the government, rather than go after those who are burning buildings, those who suddenly rose up in the past 48 hours to attack protesters, those who threatened to unleash mayhem and burn the city down. Protesters have never asked for, they didn't even ask for Buhari to resign. They were asking him to stand up and man up and be the president, be the leader of the country, unite the country, secure the country. Come on, that is not too much to ask. But because the government rules through violence, they rig the election through violence, they rule by violence, and they want to keep the power by violence. And the whole world should pay attention to Nigeria. This has been going on for so long. And this is actually the only way they can suppress and end the protest. But would they be able to stop and end the protest after unleashing their soldiers on peaceful protesters and the whole world is watching? Do you really think that's going to bring an end to the request for a better governance, a better country? They said they want a new Nigeria that works for them, the one that is not profiling them, the one that is not killing them in their youth, the one that is not criminalizing them, the one that is not criminalizing hard work and glorifying criminality. Politicians steal, they loot publicly with no shame, with no remorse, and they have no any intention of stopping. But they feel so entitled that they hold nobody any responsibility. Now, holding up and standing up to their responsibility is the reason why they decided to unleash violence on their people. Come on, even if you are a genuine Nigerian, is this the Nigeria you want? Is this the actual Nigeria you want to see? The one that if you speak out, if you speak your mind, you get harassed, arrested, incarcerated, or even killed? Is that the Nigeria you want? Is that the Nigeria you want your children to grow up in? Is this the battle you want to live for your children or for your grandchildren? These are the questions that are actually popping up in the minds of majority of those you see out there. Do I want to live this for my own children? Do I want my children to also experience what my own fathers experienced, what I'm experiencing? These are genuine questions that if truly those who are holding political power in Nigeria, those who call themselves the elite, those who determine what happened in Nigeria or what doesn't happen, these are the genuine questions that you should have an answer to, instead of them waging war, waging economy war, waging security war, waging all manner of war to suppress the people that gave you the power. Come on. You see, all the protesters, we know them and we know what they stand for. And let me tell you something. I know many of you must have probably seen this, but this is the collection of the proof that the protest in Nigeria was peaceful until the government, the security, the police, the military that are supposed to protect the civilians, the citizens who are exercising their own constitutional right, legitimate right. They were supposed to be protected from any hoodlum or any of this group of hoodlums who want to attack or disrupt them, because that is what will lead to chaos or anarchy. That is what is expected of a genuine working security system in a working country, okay? But that is not what is happening. The security system in Nigeria, the security agents in Nigeria, the DSS, which we now know as the Daura Secret Service, the DSS, the military, the police are paying people, they are paying miscreants, they are paying hoodlums to go out there and commit assaults, burn down government buildings, burn down government cars, burn down and attack protesters. These are being financed with government, with Nigeria's money. They are spending Nigeria money to fund chaos, to fund violence against the citizens that gave them the power. That is absolute, that's actually the coverage there. And the whole of Africa is watching. That is another thing, another angle. The rest of Africa is watching Nigeria. Would Nigeria get it right? Would Nigeria break the chain of slavery, the chain of modern slavery? Would this generation do it and inspire the same drive in the rest of dictator or tyrannical regimes in Africa? They have held Africa down for so long. And the whole of Africa is looking up to Nigeria. If Nigerians manage to pull this through, if they manage to resist to the end, to the force of the the government that has lost all legitimacy, because right now any government that turn guns against our own citizens, any government anywhere in the world, that government from that moment begin to lose legitimacy. So Buhari's government in Nigeria right now, APC government in Nigeria right now, has lost legitimacy. They have turned the military in Nigeria against Nigerians, and they have shot at them, killed them. They have turned the guns, the gun bought by, with the taxpayers' money. They have turned the guns against the taxpayers. Do you understand? Do you actually understand the veracity of that? Do you understand the seriousness of that? So Buhari's government has lost legitimacy. Now, would Nigerians be able to pull this off, pull this to the end, and hold back and win back their country? Would the rest of the world come to this, to the rescue of Nigerians who only have their placards and their hands held or high? They have no weapon. They have no nothing. Their government is paying thugs. The government that should protect them is sponsoring thugs. State governors are paying thugs, armed thugs, to go out there and burn down government property. They are arming them with guns. They are not stopping at that. Tonight, what they did in Lekki, what they actually did at Lekki tonight, is a serious international crime against humanity. You see, the people who coordinated and marched those soldiers down to Lekki, let me tell you how that started. This afternoon, just between 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock, Sanwo-Olu received serious pressure from Abuja. And they told the governor, we are sending in soldiers to Lagos today. We are going to end the protests in Lagos today, and we are going to take over Lekki toll gate. We are going to take over Lekki toll gate, and we are going to use force to take over the place. We give you just 4 hours to disperse the crowd in Alausa, disperse the crowd at Lekki, or else whatever happened tonight is on you. And if that escalates, we are going to declare a state of emergency in Lagos State. Now, that is why Sanwo-Olu hurriedly, released that press statement after what happened at Orile and other places in Lagos today, right? Sanwo-Olu had to, because he wanted to save his job, he quickly announced a curfew. Who announced a curfew, emergency curfew, in a state like Lagos State with the population of 22 million residents, right? Who announced curfew within 4 hours and tell people that they have to be in their homes between 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock? Who does that? Sanwo-Olu thought he could use that to at least reduce the crowd. That seems to work a little bit earlier, because some of the organizers of the protest, they began making videos. They began tweeting and sending messages, and they were advising people to go home. That after the curfew, now that the whole thing is going into anarchy and all of that, after the curfew, right, they will reconverge and they will continue the protest. Because Sanwo-Olu said they needed to leave. The soldiers are coming. They have sent in soldiers and they have already arrived in Lagos. And they gave him just 6 hours to disperse the crowd, or they will do what they are sent to do from Abuja. And if that escalates or in any way or lead to more protests, they will declare state of emergency in Lagos State. They are going to declare state of emergency in Southwest. They are going to declare state of emergency in Southeast, because they want everybody to stop. This is the new one. And I'm going to tell you why tonight. Sanwo-Olu had to react, but that didn't work well. So Sanwo-Olu and the government of Lagos State decided to go to Lekki toll gate, and they cut out and removed all the security cameras there, all the CCTV. Then they went on as well to cut out the power supply to the entire area, right? As the night was coming, they cut out the power supply for the entire area. The soldiers who arrived in their convoy today in Lagos State, people were hailing them. They didn't know that they were coming. to what? To kill the people in Lagos State. I'm going to try and pull up their arrival when they arrived there in Lagos today. So they came in, not because they are coming in to do any other thing. They were coming in to disperse the crowd at Lekki, disperse the crowd at every protest ground in Lagos State. That was the plan. So tonight, exactly about 2 hours ago, just about quarter to 7, I would say 7 tonight, they opened fire on the peaceful protesters at the Lekki toll gates. And so far, so good. We don't know the numbers of how many people killed. But from the numbers we have picked everywhere so far, they have confirmed that 7 people have been killed. We don't know the numbers of people, hit by the stray bullets, by the soldiers. There was no light. There was no, security cameras. Nothing to capture what happened. Just the protesters and their phones, right? In the dark. You will only probably just listen to their voices, the audio, when we get to that stage. But there's a message from this, this is the man, the engineer they sent in to remove the security camera at the Lekki toll gates. So when they were removing that, the protesters captured that and they got their face on there. And up close, this is what it looks like up close. Let me try and blank the find him, and we'll let the world media to pick his face. Eventually, this will be probed, and the relativity of all the connectivity of the whole thing, just as I've told you now, with the order from Abuja presidency to Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, and the whole thing is completely out of his hand now. In another few days, if this escalates tomorrow, they are going to declare state of emergency in Lagos State. They are going to send in more soldiers in Ibadan. The governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, has been very much up and doing. In fact, he also released a statement today as well to send more security for the protesters. They know the protesters. They know the anarchists. So before this whole thing gets to this level, there was a meeting in Abuja. And at that meeting, they called in all the, all the president of the NURTW, National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW. They called a meeting in Abuja 3 days ago. And from that meeting, it was agreed that they are going to use all the branches of NURTW across Nigeria, okay, to disperse the protesters. And part of what they are going to do was to actually attack them, burn down government building, so that government can then, the military can use that to say they need to stop the anarchy. They are not going to go after the anarchists. They are not going to go after those who are burning buildings. They are going to go after the peaceful protesters like they did tonight. Okay, so they did that meeting, and from that for the past 48 hours, you have been witnessing attacks in Ikorodu, in Ibadan, in Lagos, everywhere, right? It's because of the plan. So at Lekki tonight, after the gunshot, after the killings, yeah, this is what the final. They were not holding guns. They were not holding anything. They were holding flags. Okay, they were shot at. They were killed tonight. We don't know the numbers yet, but by tomorrow, right, we will know the numbers. So let us get started. I have something. It is a message. So today or tonight, I will be taking you through layer by layer, phase by phase of the events that took place in Nigeria today. How Nigeria security officers, how Nigeria security agents, right, the police, the DSS, how they were mobilizing, how they were paying thugs, how they are mobilizing and they are arming thugs to continue to attack and kill protesters. Okay, I will take you through that layers tonight. And then what is next? What will be the next thing? Will be what our conclusion on the program tonight. So thank you so much to every one of you who is tuning in right now. But remember, as you are tuning in, if this is your first time of watching Maegu, I will advise that you can subscribe on the page now. That will allow you not to miss anything at all, okay, on the program. So you can use all the tools on the page there. You can set up a notification too, so that you can at least be informed and updated on what is going on in Nigeria. They are killing protesters. Meanwhile, the National Assembly, they have now requested that Buhari should address the country, that Buhari should speak to the country. We have been asking for that for the past 2 weeks, but they have decided to deal with the protesters rather than deal with the problem. And the way they are dealing with the protesters is more deadlier now. It's going to make things worse. These are peaceful protesters. Let us not forget that. We know those who sponsor the thugs. So the Gbajabiamila, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, has declared that he's not going to sign the 2021 budget if there is no provision for the victims of SARS or victims of police brutality included in that budget. However, this is the message from Professor PLO Lumumba rather. Watch this.
Nigeria is the home of great men and women. We know that Nigeria is now going through difficult moments. Young men and women have risen in the streets of Nigerian cities. They are to be found in Lagos, in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, and many other cities. And all they ask is that justice should be done. We urge the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari to listen to these young men and women. Thus far, they have behaved decently. They have shunned violence. The only thing that they have done is to ask your administration to hear their humble cry. Listen to them. Listen to them, that history may judge you fairly. Listen to them as they ask for justice. Listen to them as they ask for opportunities to invent and to innovate. Listen to them as they ask for improvement in the health sector. Listen to them as they ask for the infrastructure to improve. Listen to them as they ask that salaries be rationalized. Listen to them as they ask their politicians to behave. Listen to them as they ask your government to do that which it promised. Listen to them. They deserve a listening ear. And to young Nigerians, be brave. You have conquered the worst enemy of man, the enemy called fear. Act with the firmness that will open the eyes of the political class, not with the arrogance that will inflame their anger. History is on your side because history says, Vox Populi, Vox Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God.
Absolutely. Thank you, Professor Lumumba. Dear Africa is watching. The rest of Africa is looking up to Nigeria.